Members of the APS, members of the school board, members of the Pundits Council, members of the Vedic Mission, members of the audience, officiating Pundit, a pleasant namaste. Let me warmly welcome each and every one of you to our three-part Veda Yajna. Hawan this afternoon will be done by Pandit Jasoja Ragbir Singh and discourse by Pandit Deepak Raman, visiting from New York. Panditji has a lot of knowledge with over 30 years of experience as a Vedic Pandit. Thank you all for coming and joining us here today. We are pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for some time now, as well as those of you who are new to our association. I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who helped us make this event come together. To our members, you have chosen to be a part of our association because of our mutual passion for religious work. Your passion helps us all to come together as one, and the energy we create as one allow us to achieve our individual as well as our group goals. So this afternoon, let me warmly welcome each and every one of you, and I now hand over to Pandit Jasoja Ragbir Singh. Namaste and thank you.
स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वाटिकानि, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजित हृदय पी। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वाटिकानि। Pitarya, Isha Sakuna विश्वर एकता। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिकानी। तीर्थ भया यहाँ गोत लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ परसार। तीर्थ भया यहाँ गोत लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ परसार। संगति संतन प्रेम चलावे, फेर फेर सब हार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिकानी। सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजित हृदय पीर। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर, भक्ति स्वातिकानी, भक्ति स्वातिकानी.
Let us all bring ourselves into a prayerful mood. Take deep breaths, focus on the breath. As we communicate with our Creator for the next hour, Om is the highest name of God in Sanskrit. It is also a great mantra. Chanting of Om helps to calm the mind and sanctify the breath. As we utter the name Om and keep repeating that thought within us, it sets up a vibration that invokes the presence of God. When the ether is surcharged with the vibrations of the divine name, the entire environment gets purified. Those who breathe the sanctified air will have pure thoughts. We now chant Om 3 times. Opening prayer. Om Shanu Mitra Shan Varuna Shanu Bhavad Varyama Shan Indru Brihaspati Shanu Vishnu Ruru Kramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadisyami Vritam Vadisyami Satyam Vadisyami Tanmam avatu tadvaktaram avatu mam avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you, O Supreme Being, friend of all, the holiest of all, and controller of the universe, be merciful unto us. May you, O Almighty One, Lord of the universe and support of all, endow us with knowledge and power. May you, O omnipresent and omnipotent Being, shower your blessings all around us. We bow unto you, O most powerful and supreme Being. You alone are the omniscient One, whom we feel within our hearts. We will call you and you alone the true One. Your will is truly revealed in the Vedas. Will we obey and preach? We will be truthful in word, deed, and thought. You are our shelter. May you protect us who study and contemplate your nature, who speak only the truth so that our understanding may be firm in your will and never turn away from it. Your will is truth and righteousness. That which is contrary to your will is untruth and unrighteousness. May you again shelter and protect us, O Lord. Be merciful and grant this our prayer for which we shall feel ever and ever grateful. Let there be peace in the heavenly regions, in the middle regions, and on earth. Ishwar Stuti, Meditation of the Divine. We'll do the English translation for the first mantra and the last mantra. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Asuva. O radiant divinity, cause of all manifestations in the universe, remove all evils from us and endow us with all that is noble. Om Hiranya Garbha Samvartatagre Bhutasya Jatah Patireka Asit Sadadhad Prithivim Dyamute Mam Kasmai Devaya Vishavidhema. Om Ya Atmada Baladayasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chayamritam Yasya Mrityu Kasmai Devaya Vishavidhema. Om Yah Pranatu Nimishatu Mahitu Vaika Idraja Jagatu Babhuva Ya Ishe Asya Dvipadashchatushpadah Kasmai Devaya Vishavidhema. Om Yena Jaurugra Prithivi Chadridha Yena Swahastabhitam Yena Nakah Yo Antarikshe Rajasu Vimana Tasmai Devaya Vishavidhema. Om Prajapate Natvade Tanyanyo Vishwajata Niparita Babhuva Yat Kamaste Juhumastano Vastu Vayam Syama Patayorayinam. Om Sano Bandhur Janita Savidhata Dhamani Veda Bhuvanani Vishwa Yatra Deva Amritamana Shanas Tritiye Dhamana Jairayanta. Om Agne Naya Supataraye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmad Juhurana Menu Huishtante Nama Uktim Vidhema. O self-effulgent being, all holy and knower of all things, lead us through the path of goodness to prosperity and knowledge, and keep us away from evil deeds. To achieve this end, may we always contemplate your divine nature and be always happy. May we follow the path of welfare as the sun and moon unswervingly revolve in their orbits. May we associate with those who are learned, pious, charitable, and non-violent. At her Shanti Prakaranam, we pray that peace come to us from all directions. May we derive peace from electricity, fire, and water. May the sun and moon bring us peace and fearlessness by eradicating disease. May electricity and wind bring us vigor and peace. May our power, our glory, our intellect, our wealth, and our prosperity bring peace to us. May our rulers and judges bring peace to us. May the Divine One, the sustainer and supporter of the universe, bring peace to us. May the vast sun and the earth produce food in all regions, thereby bringing peace to us. May the clouds and the mountains bring peace to us. May all wise men, by their sweetness of speech, bring peace to us. Om Shana Indragni Bhavatamavobhi Shana Indra Varuna Ratahavya Shamindra Soma Suvitaya Shanyo Shana Indra Pushana Vajasata. Om Shanu Bhaga Shamuna Shansu Astu Shana Purandhi Shamu Santuraya Shana Satyasya Suyamasya Shansa Shano Aryama Purujatu Astu Om Shanu Dhata Shamudhartano Astu Shana Uruchi Bhavatu Swadhabhi Shanrodasi Brihati Shanu Adri Shanu Devanam Suhavani Santu Om Shanu Agnirjo Tiraniko Astu Shanu Mitra Varuna Vashvinasham Shana Sukritam Sukritani Santu Shana Ishiro Abhivatu Vata Om Shanu Dhyava Prithivi Purvahuta Shamantariksham Drishayeno Astu Shana Oshadhir Vanino Bhavantu Shano Rajasas Patirastu Jishnu Om Shana Indro Vasurbirdevo Astu Shamadityebhir Varuna Sushansa Shano Rudro Rudribhir Jalasha Shamna Swastagna Birihashrinotu Om Shana Somo Bhavatu Brahma Shana Shano Gravana Shamu Santu Yajna Shana Swaruna Mitayo Bhavantu Shana Prasva Shana Vastu Vedi. May the all peaceful one give us peace. May our religious undertakings bring us peace. May the plants and vegetables bring us peace. May the oblations in this Vedi bring us peace. Om Amritopasternamasi Swaha. May this water bring happiness to all. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. O immortal one, you are the eternal support of all. Om Satyam Yashaha Shri Mai Shri Shrayatam Swaha. May true action, fame, wealth and honor be always with us. Ang Sparsh Mantra. We now ask God to strengthen the different parts of our bodies for the performance of good work, for the benefit of ourselves and the entire creation. Om Vang Me Asyastu. May there be the power of speech in my mouth. Om Nasur Me Pranustu. May there be the power of breath in my nostrils. Om Akshanur Me Chakshurastu. May there be the power of sight in my eyes. Om Karnayor Me Shrotramastu. May there be the power of hearing in my ears. Om Bahur Me Balamastu. May there be strength in my arms. Om Urvurma Ojostu. May there be strength in my thighs. Om Aristani Megani Tanustanva Me Sahasantu. May all parts of our bodies be coherently healthy. Agnyadhan Mantra. We now ignite the fire. Om Bhurbhuva Svajariva Bhumna Prithviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithvi Deva Yajni Prishtagani Manad Manadya Yadadhe. Om Udbhudya Swagne Prati Jagrihitva Mishta Purte Sagvam Shrijethamayam Cha Asmin Sarhaste Atyutarasmin Vishwe Deva Yajmanascha Siddhartha. Samidadhan Mantra. Om Ayanted Mahatma Jatavedhaste Nedhyasva Vardhasva Chedavardhaya चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नानाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम ॐ समिधाग्निं दुवस्यत घृतय बोधया तातथिम् अस्मिन् हव्ये जुहोतन ॐ सुसमिधाय शोचसे घृतं तीव्रं जुहोतन अग्नये जातवेदसे स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम ॐ तन्त्वा समिद्भिरङ्गिरो घृतेन वर्धयामसि बृहचोचाय विष्ठय स्वाहा idamagnaya angidase mama. Grita Huti mantra. We chant this mantra 5 times. In this mantra we are praying, O all-pervading one, I offer myself to you as I offer this fuel to the fire. May you enlighten me in greater and greater measure. As this fire grows with the application of fuel, may you enable me by the help of true knowledge to attain physical and spiritual well-being. Om ayantairma atma jatavedhisthenedhya swavardhasvachedavardhya chasman prajaya pashubhir brahmavarchase nanajena samedhaya swaha idamagne jatavedase mama. Om ayantairma atma jatavedhisthenedhya swavardhasvachedavardhya chasman prajaya pashubhir brahmavarchase nanajena samedhaya स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम ॐ अयन्तैर्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्य स्ववर्धस्वचेदवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नानाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम ॐ अयन्तैर्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्य स्ववर्धस्वचेदवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नानाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम ॐ अयन्तैर्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्य स्ववर्धस्वचेदवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसे नानाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे मम Jal Prasechan Mantra. Om Aditya Anumanyaswa. Om Anumate Anumanyaswa. Om Saraswati Anumanyaswa. Om Deva Savita Prasuvayajam Prasuvayajapatim Bhagaya. Devyo Gandharva Ketapu Ketana Punato Vachaspatir Vachana Swadatu. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Mama Om Somaya Swaha Idam Somaya Idam Mama Om Prajapate Swaha Idam Prajapate Mama Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Mama Om Bhuragnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Mama Om Bhuvarvayave Swaha Idam Vayave Mama Om Swaradityaya Swaha Idam Adityaya Mama Om Bhurbhuvaswaragni Vayavadityebhya Swaha Idam Agni Vayavadityebhya Idam Mama. Switch the Krita Huti mantra. In this mantra we are praying, whatever excesses or shortcomings I have committed, I now commend to the Almighty and seek His rectification thereof for my material and spiritual well-being. I make this oblation in the name of the self-effulgent being, who purifies us and enables us to fulfill our desires. May my desires be fulfilled and may my speech be ever truthful. I have made this wish in the full knowledge that I have no claim to its fulfillment. Om yadasya karamano achariri cham yadvanyunamihakaram agnishtat srishtakrit vedyat sarvam swishtam suhotam karotu me Agnaye Shrishtakrite Sahutahute Sarva Prayaschittahutinam Kamanam Samarditre Sarvana Kamanta Samardhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Shrishtakrite Idanna Mama Prajapatyahuti Mantra Om Swaha Idam Prajapate Idanna Mama. Pratah Kal ke mantra, we'll chant the morning and evening mantras. Om Surya Jyotir Jyoti Surya Swaha. Om Surya Varcha Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Surya Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Rushasindra Vatya Joshana Surya Vetu Swaha. Sayankal ki mantra. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcha Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Ratrindra Vatya Joshano Agnirvetu Swaha. Sayang Pratah ki mantra. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idanna Mama. Om Bhuvarvayave Panaya Swaha. Idam Vayave Panaya Idanna Mama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idanna Mama. Om Bhurbhuva Swaragni Vayavadityebhya Pranapanavyanebhya Swaha. Idam Agni Vayavadityebhya Pranapanavyanebhya Idanna Mama. Om Apo Jyotiraso Amritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swado Swaha. Om Yamedham Devagana Pitarascho Pasate Taya Madhya Medhagne Medhavinam Kuru Swaha. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Asuva Swaha. Om Agne Naya Supataraye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmad Juhuranamenu Puyishtante Nama Uktim Vidhima Swaha. Pratijahuti mantra. In this mantra we pray, O self-effulgent being, Lord of the holy ordinances, I shall observe the vow of truthfulness in thought, word, and deed. May you enable me to successfully observe this vow of truthfulness. Om Agne Vratpate Vratam Chadishyami Tate Prapravimi Tachikeyam Te Nardhaya Samidam Mahamanritat Satyam Upaimi Swaha. Idam Agne Danna Mama. Gayatri Mantra, let us all put our hands together. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Namaskar mantra. In this mantra we pray, we acknowledge you, O peaceful being, the eternal source of joy and happiness. We acknowledge you, O giver of peace and spiritual well-being. We acknowledge you, O blissful one, a still more blissful being, who fulfills our material and spiritual desires. Ever and evermore, do we acknowledge and recognize you? Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayubhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Swaha. At this time, we place our hands towards the fire as we pray. O Lord, please bless us with happy long lives. Please bless us with strong, healthy bodies. Please remove from our bodies all ailments and weaknesses that lie therein. O Lord, please bless us with knowledge. Om Tanupa Agnesi Tanva Me Pahi. Om Ayurda Agnesya Yud Me Dehi. Om Varchoda Agnesi Varcho Me Dehi. Om Agneyan Me Tanva Unam Tanma Aprina. Om Medha Me Deva Savita Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Devi Saraswati Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Ashwinau Deva Vadhatam Pushkarasraja. Purnahuti mantra 3 times. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Gayatri mantra, let us all put our hands together once more. Om Bhurbhuva Svah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. हे दयालु परमात्मन, आप अपनी असीम कृपा से हमारी सदा रक्षा करते हैं। आप ही हमारे जीवन आधार है। अपने सेवकों के दुखों को दूर करके उनको सुख देने वाले हैं। आप सर्वत्र सुप्रतिष्ठित और सुप्रसिद्ध हैं। आप सर्वोत्तम शुद्ध पवित्र और ज्ञान स्वरूप है। आपसे ही यह सारा जगत उत्पन्न हुआ है। आप ही सकल शुभ गुणों को खान है। आपका हम प्रतिदिन ध्यान करें और आप हमें विवेकशीलता, भावनावती मेध, सद्बुद्धि प्रदान करें। O Supreme Being, cause of all manifestations in the universe, source of existence, intelligence and bliss, we meditate upon your adorable nature. May you illumine and inspire our intellect. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This has brought us to the end of the Havan or Agnihotra. We now hand over to Pandit Singh and Mrs. Singh to do a bhajan.
Namaste. Thank you, Pandita.
Venerable Lord, make our attentions clear so that we may be free from deception. Give us mental strength. May we chant Vedic hymns and uphold truth, that all be immersed in joy and cross beyond the sea of grief. May we organize Vedic Yajnas to ensure well-being for all, living within the boundaries of righteousness. May we be of benefit to the world. मानसिक बल दीजिए पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए प्रभु मान मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की कावेरी छाए सत्य को धारण करे, हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे, सुख सागर से तरे। अश्वमेधादिक्र छाए यज्ञ पर उपकार को, धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु मानसिक बल दीजिए। नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहे, रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे। भावना मिट जावे मन से, पाप अत्याचार की कामनाएं पूर्ण होए, यज्ञ से नर नार की। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु मानसिक बल दीजिए। लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए, वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा, प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो। ईदन मम का सार्थक, प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। हाथ जोड़ झुकाए मस्तक, वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा, आपकी सब पर रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु मानसिक बल दीजिए। Become my beloved friend and let love flow unendingly between the two of us.
करके स्वीकार प्रभु,
जग में मैं लाखों यहाँ बंधन थक हार गया हूँ मैं सह करके उठ पीरन आया हूँ द्वार तेरे मेरे जीत अमर कर दो आया हूँ द्वार तेरे मेरे जीत अमर कर दो मन रूपी वीणा की सब तारे टूट गई जो आशा थी इनसे मुझे वो आशा छूट गई झनकृत करके उनको संगीत अमर कर दो संगीत अमर कर दो मेरा गीत अमर कर दो जग ने छीना मुझसे मुझे जो भी लगा प्यारा सब जीत किया मुझसे मैं हरदम ही हारा दर्शन देकर प्रभु अब मेरे दृष्टि अमर कर दो दर्शन देकर प्रभु अब मेरे दृष्टि अमर कर दो करके स्वीकार प्रभु मेरा गीत अमर कर दो मेरा गीत अमर कर दो मेरा गीत अमर कर दो
Thank you, Pandit Jasoja Ragbir Singh and Pandit Jiwan Singh. I just want to say a special thank you to our sponsors for tonight, broadcasts, all new events, Vish VGM Services, the Pi Stop, WBI Construction, Mr. Omkar and Mr. Vishal from Sankhya Television. Thank you all very much. I now take this opportunity to introduce our Reverend Pandits who will be delivering tonight discourse. Pandit Deepak Raman was a former Vedic school teacher, secondary school mathematics teacher, and eventually retired as head of the Business Studies Department at Karapichaima Secondary Comprehensive School. He was a former secretary of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, former leader of the Arya Veda, former president of the Vedic Mission of Trinidad and Tobago, and former chairman of the Academic Affairs Committee of Hindi Nidi. He holds an honors degree in economics and a diploma in education from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Panditji has been a practicing Vedic Pandit for more than 30 years now. Pandit Deepak Raman migrated to the USA in 2010, and he is attached to the Arya Spiritual Center of New York as a senior Pandit. Let us put our hands together and warmly welcome Pandit Deepak Raman.
Namaste, everybody. Being in St. Clement's Vedic School is like homecoming for me after many, many years. I remember being here for meetings and other functions for so many years, and there were many very, very good memories. And now in this beautiful evening hour of Sandhya, to be here once again, it's indeed a very great blessing. I want to say how pleased I am to see Pandita Jasodhra and Pandit Jeevan conducting a beautiful Havan ceremony. And I want to say thank you very much to the President, Bhai Roshan Parasram Singh, and to the executive and the members of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha for inviting me here to officiate at this three-part Veda Yajna. First of all, I want to congratulate, to thank, and to give credit to all of the senior members of Arya Samaj in general, and of Arya Pratinidhi Sabha in particular, for the great work that they have done to preserve and promote the Arya Samaj in Trinidad. What we have today is just an accumulation of their efforts, their tremendous sacrifice, their hard work that they have put in to keep alive the Samaj and to nurture it in such a way that we can be the proud inheritors of that and this movement and this organization today. I also would like to congratulate the new executive of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, and I understand it's quite a number of young people, and that's a good sign as well, that we have now placed the future in the hands of the youth, who will now bring a new energy, a new vigor, and a new enthusiasm into the organization and take it forward. This is almost close to the time of the foundation of the Arya Samaj, which took place in Bombay, India, in the year 1875, April 10th. In New York, the celebrations have already started. There are about 2 weeks of celebrations where there's a committee that has planned. They go to all the different Arya Samaj mandars, and they have a program under the name of the United Arya Samaj Federation. But of course, there in New York and in the tri-state area, which includes New Jersey, New York, and which one again? Connecticut? I think. You have a number of Arya Samaj organizations there and a number of mandars there. And so it's a big effort. And it includes a number of people, pundits, and these various organizations. But why I mentioned that it's around the time of the Foundation Day is that we have got to go back now to see what was the mission that was given to the Arya Samaj by the founder. The only way to understand the way forward is to go back and see what was the intention, what was the purpose, what was the objective that the Swami founded this organization for. And that would guide us as to how we should move forward. But today, I just want to take some time in our session this evening to talk about the purpose of life. the purpose of life and the purpose of living. You all know that when you set out on a journey, you must have in mind help me, a destination. Here people don't use much of the GPS because we are familiar with all the roads, but if you go to another country, when you set out on your journey, the first thing you do, if you don't know where you're going, or if you're not familiar with the roads, you put in a destination. How many of us know what the destination is? We are living this life. God has blessed us with a human birth. To do what and to go where? When you look at, sometimes you look at the what we call the crazy ants on the ground. You see them like when the rain falls and they come out from the nest. You see them moving in all different directions, and you say they're moving in a crazy way. But even those crazy ants have a sense of purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they are building. Do we as human beings have a purpose? And this is the question I would like, us all here to pay some mind to pay some attention to this evening. In the Veda, the purpose of life is defined very clearly. For the animal kingdom, the purpose is programmed. The purpose is programmed in their instinct. So cows 1,000 years ago are exactly the same as the cows of today. No difference. A dog in China and a dog in Trinidad, all the features, characteristics are the same. The Chinese dog doesn't bark in Chinese, nor does the Trinidad dog bark in Trinidadese. They all bark the same way. Why? Because these animals have been programmed in a certain way, and all of their functions, their destiny, and their destination is already fixed. This is why they have no free will. And this is why their development can only reach a certain level. As I mentioned to you, you would hardly see much improvement from the animals of 1,000 years ago to the animals of today. In fact, because of the proximity to people, there might be a deterioration. Dogs now have to be tended by a vet. We know that long time we had many dogs all over the yard, and they were just existing. Now you have dog, you have the vet, and you have a beauty salon for dogs, and you have a pet cemetery as well. Look at this kind of sophistication we have taken it to. However, the dogs, because of their proximity to humans, are more susceptible to disease. Some time ago, we had the mad cow disease existing in the world. And the research was done to find out that we have been feeding the cow the entrails of some other animals mixed in their feed. So an omnivorous animal was being fed carnivorous food, and it created a massive problem. Today, we human beings are living in an era when there is tremendous rapid change. And it becomes difficult to understand, it becomes more challenging to understand what is our purpose in life. For what have we been made? Where are we going? From where have we come? I like to use the example when you are lying in your coffin, when you or I are lying in the coffin, can you look back and say, my life was fulfilling? I have fulfilled the purpose of my life. I have done justice to having been created as a human being, and I am satisfied that I am leaving this earth fulfilled. Swami Dayanand says from the Veda that the purpose of life is fourfold, It's called the Purusharthas, and there are four. Purush means the human, art means what makes art. Art actually means meaning. Art. You know that when we're reading Ramayana, we say, now we're reading the art. At that time it means meaning. Art also has another meaning, wealth. What is the wealth of human beings? What is the meaning and the purpose of the Purush art? And it is given in four parts. Dharma, first one is dharma, second one is artha, third one is, help me, the third one, kama, and the fourth one, moksha. So dharma, help me, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. These are the fourfold purposes of life, the fourfold objectives of life. Now let's look at what is the meaning of this. Dharma. Dharma is the first. Dharma is the foundation. Dharma is the bedrock. Dharma is the basis of all else. In other words, if there's no dharma, the others have nothing to stand on. Dharma was put as the very first foundation stone of human purpose and human life. And why is that? Because dharma makes you human. Dharma is what makes us human. There's a beautiful shloka from the Chanakya Niti which says, Ahar vidya dhritikshama tamosteyam. It says that there are four functions. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunam cha. There are four functions that animals perform, and human beings also perform those four. Ahar, eating. Bhaya, ahara, nidra, sleeping. Bhaya, experiencing emotions like fear, happiness, sadness, and so on. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunam, procreation. Both animals and human beings share these four things. These four responsibilities, these four characteristics. But the difference is dharma. That human beings can be conscious of dharma, whereas the animals do not have that awareness. And dharma is defined as that which makes us what we are. Dharma is defined as that which makes us what we are, just as we can say what makes fire fire? The ability to burn. If you take away the ability to burn from fire, it's no longer fire. So, what makes human beings human? And the Manusmriti explains that in some detail. Dhriti kshama damo asteyam shauchamindriya nigraha dhir vidya satyam krodho dashikam dharma lakshanam. Manusmriti explains in this way what is dharma. Dhriti, forbearance, fortitude, courage. The ability to persevere in the midst of difficulties and challenges. Human beings should have the quality of not running away from a problem, not running away from a challenge, but standing up and see how to deal with it. Having courage, having faith that we have the ability to deal with that, or to deal with this situation. Dhriti kshama, forgiveness, the ability to forgive and to move on, and to not to carry the burdens that we sometimes carry within us. The heavy burdens too. Sometimes we carry a lot of people inside of us. Sometimes we carry a lot of bad memories inside of us. Sometimes we carry a lot of incidents that are not pleasant inside of us. Kshama, release, relieve yourself from these negative things that hold you back and move on. Dhriti kshama damo, be able to have discipline in one's life. Dhamma means control. To have some kind of control over yourself, so that yourself does not become your enemy. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Uddharet atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadayet. Atma eva hi atmano bandhur, atma eva hi ripuratmanaha. We are sometimes, and you hear this statement very often, we are sometimes our worst enemy. We don't need other enemies outside. We ourselves perform the job. Why? Because we don't have control. Our senses take over, our emotions take over, our mind takes over, overtakes the intellect, reasoning is gone, and then trouble comes. So Dhamma, the third characteristic of Dharma is Dhamma. Asteyam, non-stealing. Do not take what is not yours. Do not touch what is not yours. Do not appropriate what is not yours unto you. Non-stealing. And that applies, non-stealing applies not only to physical assets, wealth, or material things. Non-stealing also applies to life itself. Dhriti kshama damo asteyam shaucham. Remember, Manu is explaining what is dharma, and we are saying human beings have dharma. That makes them different from animals. And here Manu says now, shaucham. Shaucham means purity, cleanliness. The common saying is cleanliness is next to godliness. And this purity is a very powerful concept. That when something is pure, then its real nature shines forth. You know this old lampshade that we had long time, the glass one? The light inside is lighting very well. But if it is covered with some soot, then the shade becomes a little dark, and you say you're not seeing well. But the reason for not seeing well is not that the light has got dimmer. there is this soot on the shade and the light is not coming through because there's some impurity there. And it is the same thing with human beings. It is the same thing with minds. It is the same thing with hearts. When we are at our purest, even in the physical sense, if your body is pure, and the medical people tell you when there's a greater predominance of alkalinity in your body rather than acidity, then your health radiates. Your health, you become radiant in health. But that's not the only factor, of course. But generally speaking, acidity in the human body is the root of many, many illnesses and diseases. So, shaucham, cleanliness, purity of heart, purity of mind, purity of thoughts is dharma. Dhriti, kshama, damo, asteyam, shaucham, indriya nigraha. Indriya means these senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Indriya nigraha. Nigraha means to hold. In the Upanishads, our senses are described as ashwan. Ashwan means like wild horses, untamed horses. And not only in the Upanishads, in the Vedas too, that same description arises. Why should the rishis say your ears is like a wild horse? Your tongue is like a wild horse. Your eyes is like a wild horse. What does a wild horse do? Just want to go anyway. Anyway. He might even run over a precipice and fall off. It doesn't matter. Doesn't know. The wild horse has no sense of direction. No sense of control. So the rishis have labeled these as wild horses. Why? These are such useful instruments. You might ask, why did they call these wild horses? Left to their own devices, left alone to operate without control, see what happens to these. And more, the result of disease in the human body is because these wild horses are really wild. They've gone really wild. We eat without discrimination. We speak, use of the sense of speech and the sense of taste and speech go together, but even speech has now sometimes is without discrimination. We want to listen to what? Sometimes it is without discrimination of what is good to take inside here. And so, Indriya Nigraha. The senses have to be brought under control. The senses have to be directed on a path to serve our purpose in life. And this is what the Manusmriti is saying here first. Dhriti, kshama, damo, asteyam, shaucham, indriya, nigraha. Dhir, from dhiyoyonaha. Dhi means intellect. We have to develop the intellect, that power of reasoning, that power of discrimination, that power of judgment, which the animals were not blessed with. Because they were blessed with an instinct, which is a program to act and behave in a certain way. If we do not develop this intellect and this sense of discrimination, then we would lose out. We would lose out. We would be not making use of an important faculty that God has given us. So, having intellectual growth, having a sense of right and wrong, having a sense of good judgment, D. Vidya, acquiring knowledge. We all know that the word Vidya means knowledge. Acquiring knowledge that can be put to good use by harnessing intellect. Knowledge plus intellect can result in astounding achievements for the human race. And we have seen that. D. It's important to be a lifelong learner. Swami Dayanand speaks about this when he says, Brahma Yajna, what we call Sandhya, has two parts. One is Sandhya that we do, beginning with Om Shanno Devi Rabhishta. The second part is called Swadhyay. Swadhyay means self-study and study of the self. Today, modern education is geared towards studying everything around us, up to the atomic structure, up to a single cell, up to even the split the atom, and going beyond that now. But it is all outside. Education is focused on the outside, and the critical ingredient is, who is the person studying? Did you study the studier? Did you study the subject? But you are thinking about the object only. So, my dear friends, Manusmriti is saying education must involve self-study and study of the self. Very, very important. And that's called Swadhyay. Sandhya is a medium for that. Sandhya takes us in and says, hey, stop. Stop looking outside. Stop looking at all. Stop doing all of this stuff you're doing outside and pause for a moment and look inside. Do something inside. Vidya, knowledge. Dhriti, Kshama, Damo, Aste. By the time you finish, you all might know it, right? That's why I'm repeating it all the time. By the time you finish it, you all will know it. So let's go again. Say after me. Dhriti, Kshama, Damo, Asteyam. Shaucham, Indriya, Nigraha. Dhir, Vidya, and the next one is Satyam. Satyam means truthfulness. What is truth? Satyam. Satyam. Ordinarily we think, well, just talk the truth. That's okay. That's truth. Truth comes from the depth, a deep space within. Truth is when you are honest with yourself, first of all. Truth is when you are in balance and alignment with your being. Truth is not merely to talk what you see. We have that mistaken idea that truth is just to tell the truth. That's a little fraction of the truth. Truth means to be your true self, to show your true colors. When we talk about Phagwa, it's a beautiful concept in Phagwa. All these colors mean release your true colors. Don't hide behind a mask that this is me, but it's only a mask. It's a persona. We get the word personality from persona, and in the Greek, persona means a mask. So my personality is just a mask that I put on, and I walk all over, but I go home and I take it off. Truth means there must be no mask. Swami Dayanand said that truth is to be one way all over. Wherever you are the same. When we do Om Kartala Kara Prishti and we do like this, may my inside life and may my outside life be the same. No distinction, no separation, no difference. What I say, I am. And I do as well. So Manu says, truthfulness is one of the signs of a dharmic person. Let's go again. Dhriti, Kshama, Damo, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya, Nigraha. Dhir, Vidya, Satyam, Akrodho. After Satyam comes Akrodho. Anybody in this audience could tell me what's the meaning of Krodha? Krodha. It sounds like what it means. Sounds a little harsh, right? Krodha. It has the heavy Sanskrit sounds. Krodha means, look, Pandit Jivan knows, anger. Akrod, opposite of getting angry. Control of the temper and observing the temperament as well. What happens when you get angry? Sri Krishna has a beautiful expose in the Bhagavad Gita. What happens when you get angry? He said, finally, Buddhi nashat pranashyati. Anger destroys the intellect. When someone is angry, it's as if he's intoxicated. He looks back afterwards when he's calmed down. He says, I did that. I did that. I caused all this destruction when I was angry. Just like when he was intoxicated and he did so much of things which are not nice, and he looks back when he's sober and he says, oh my goodness, I did that. Anger and intoxication fall in the same category. So this is why part of dharma is akrodho. Anger releases, anger even destroys your own body. Anger releases all of these, whatever you call them, by Nari, you could tell me what? Toxins, excess of adrenaline, and eventually it affects your liver and your pancreas, and you say, well, oh, this person has gotten diabetic now. Anger. And what has the anger achieved? You probably scared somebody a little bit when you became angry. Not for long. Because they will see your anger as a weakness. Eventually they will see your anger as a weakness. You're not in control. You're not in control of your emotions. And therefore that's a weakness. An angry person is not necessarily a big, strong person. As sometimes we feel, when we get angry, we feel, oh, by being angry, the person will respect me. It doesn't work like that. By being angry, you destroy your own health. You reduce yourself in the eyes of others as not in control of yourself. That is why Manusmriti says, part of dharma, a characteristic of dharma, or a dharmic person is not easy to get angry. Not easy to get angry. Akrodho. Dhriti kshama damo asteyam shauchamindriya nigraha dhir vidya satyam akrodho dashakam dharma lakshanam. These 10, dashakam, these 10 are the characteristics of a dharmic person. So the very first purpose of life is to establish a dharmic personality. This is what Manusmriti is saying. This is what Swami Dayananda is saying. This is what the rishis are saying. Establish yourself firmly in the ground of dharma. When you are established firmly, and you notice, if you have a little bit of these 10 things, or even 9, or even 8, if you have a little bit, you will find life takes on a different color for you. You'll find the challenges that come your way are not that insurmountable. The first and very most important aspect of human striving is to inculcate dharma. So we can measure ourselves. Today we are sitting here, we can measure ourselves. How much and to what extent we have these 10 in us, these 10 things that we spoke about. That would give you an indication of how close you are to your destination in life. How close you are to the goal, to the purusharthas, the end of striving of human life. The second purpose assigned to human life is dharma artha. Artha. What is artha? Artha. Ordinarily, the translation in Hindi is wealth. Wealth. But art has a very deep meaning. If you go into the context of these 4 purusharthas, art means anything that contributes to your growth and development as a human being. Any potential, any skill that makes you valuable. Wealth is what makes you valuable. And part of your wealth is not only how many houses or cars or whatever, is what skills, talents, and abilities you have and have developed. So art means to hone your skills in the first instance. A very important purpose in life is to identify what are your abilities, potential, and skills, and to grow them and nurture them. A good musician has followed art. A good businessman is following art. A good anything, a doctor, whatever it is, they are following art. But then art has many facets. Art is not only a professional facet, that you became a great one in your profession, but the human personality and the human being and the human potential is so widespread. It's so exhaustive. We think that we could only do one thing or 2 things good. But we have the potential for many things. Many people demonstrate. Some people could speak 15 languages, and you think that even the English language, the one that we know, is so hard. We think that the one we know is so hard. There are little children who know 5 and 6 languages already at age 5 and 6 years. Sometimes we devalue our own value, and that goes against art. We depreciate what we truly are. And we are doing ourselves an injustice. That purpose of art, to grow, first of all, in the first stage of life, art means to develop a strong body. The Brahmacharya ashram. Develop a strong, virile, sturdy body, both for boys and girls, because this is your initial wealth. This is your foundational wealth. If you don't have this, houses and land and whatever else means nothing if you don't have a strong human body. So in the first stage of life, development of a good, strong human body. This is why in the Brahmacharya ashram, a lot of yoga and asanas and physical exercise and all these kind of rigors of life. You're exposed to rigors of life so that you develop the art of your body. In the second stage of life, we now develop art in the sense of wealth. Then we get a job, we start to work, we build house, we acquire physical assets. That is art. In the third stage of life, in the Vanprastha, what is art? What is the art when you reach 50 and going into 60? What is art that time? It couldn't possibly be to develop a strong body again, to maintain good health. To maintain good health. It couldn't possibly be to keep focusing on physical assets. It couldn't possibly be that. Because you don't have the capacity to enjoy physical assets again. How many cars do you want when you are 60 and 70 and you are diabetic and you have ulcers how many cars can you enjoy? How many houses do you want? The yogis will ask you. How much food can you eat? Already you have acid reflux. So, what is your wealth after the 50-60 mark? First stage of Brahmacharya, your wealth is your human body. Develop a strong one. Second stage, your wealth is physical assets and family life. Third stage, what should the wealth be? This third stage is to start focusing inward. The wealth of the mind and the soul. Atma-gyan, it is called. Atma-gyan. You now spend more time, you begin to release gradually from your family. This is the teaching. This is the teaching. How much you can follow, I don't know. You have to assess your own situation. We all are not in the same situation. But when you reach 55 and 60, naturally, if you... Now, I'm only 25, so I haven't experienced that yet. I haven't experienced that yet. But naturally, you begin to want to be alone. You adults here, tell me if that's not true. You feel you want to be alone when you reach in 55 and 60. You had enough of people around you. You had enough of giving to your spouse and to your children and so on. There's a natural feeling of aloneness. This is why it's called Vanprastha. Go find little quiet places to go and little retreats and be by yourself. And be with yourself and start loving yourself more. You have given your love to so many people over the 40, 50, 60 years. You have spread yourself thin. What have you given to yourself? So, the Purusha, the art, the wealth when you reach 55 and 60, the wealth you should be pursuing is me, I, Atma, Paramatma. That is art for you then. That is art for us then. That brings the most fulfillment. Food no longer tastes so good as before. It's not as fulfilling. Relationships too is not as fulfilling as before. When you begin to connect with an inner space within you, when you begin to connect and find a fulfillment with your own self, devoid of anything outside, you have now experiencing the art of Vanprastha. And in the final stage of life, what is the art? Sannyas. What is the wealth of the sannyasi? What wealth is he pursuing? Or she? The wealth becomes, because he is fulfilled or she is fulfilled, the wealth becomes an overflow. The wealth becomes an outpouring, so he goes or she goes, teaches, preaches, helps, counsels, coaches, and so on. That is the wealth of a sannyasi. So my dear friends, the second important purpose, remember tonight's topic is, what is the purpose of life? We found that the first one that the Rishi said is, establish yourself firmly in, what was the first one again? This class is not, what is the first one again? Dharma. Establish yourself firmly in Dharma. And we give 10 things. The second one is Artha. Pursue art, but it takes different forms in different points in your life. The third one is Kama. Calm, not karma. Calm. Calm again is misunderstood in many ways. Calm literally means enjoyment, desire. That as human beings we have desires, we have wants, we have cravings. We have certain kinds of empty feeling in us that we feel we need something to fill. We need something to fill us up. Whether that something is wealth, money, physical assets, whether that something is a relationship, whether that something is a profession, a career, we are missing something. There's a desire. There's this feeling that I am lacking. So calm is to satisfy those desires in a disciplined and legitimate way. In the Veda, in the Yajurveda, we read the mantra, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkim cha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma grudha kasya svidhanam. Tena tyaktena. Enjoy. Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma is not a religion that prohibits you from enjoying. Enjoying wealth, enjoying relationship, enjoying the world outside. In fact, it says, if you want to enjoy, you've got to develop the capacity for enjoyment. If you're sick, if you have problems with your stomach, could you enjoy food? No. Food means nothing to you. Food is like poison. First, develop the capacity to enjoy. When you have the capacity to enjoy, then you will really enjoy. Otherwise, you will get sick. Calm means enjoy your art. Dharma, art, all this that you have acquired, yes, enjoy it in a disciplined way, otherwise you're going to get into problems. It must be in a controlled way, it must be discriminately enjoyed. If you just say, okay, I can afford to buy any kind of food I want, I'm just going to eat and eat and eat. You could afford it, you have the wealth, you have the art. What happens in the end? Food becomes poison. Therefore, calm has limits. It must be done, enjoyment must be done within certain boundaries. It cannot be head over heels enjoyment. Enjoyment at all costs. That is going to lead to danger. So, Dharma, establish yourself in a good foundation. Artha, there is a wealth in every stage of life, pursue the wealth. Kama, learn to enjoy and develop the capacity to enjoy. And finally, The ultimate destination and purpose of life is the ultimate destination and purpose of Manav Jivan, human life, is moksha. What is moksha? In Satyar Prakash Swami Dayananda, in Statements of Belief, says, moksha is when the soul roams unlimited, unfettered in the presence of Paramatma, in the presence of God. Having broken out of the cycle of birth and death. Moksha means freedom. Freedom from pain, freedom from suffering, freedom from any limiting and constricting tendencies and situations and boundaries. This is why he says the soul can roam freely in a blissful state, enjoying Atma-Gyan, knowledge of itself to the fullest extent. Now, it's very important to understand that this is not a far-fetched thing. Moksha is achieved in small steps according to the yogis. Every day you can get a little bit of moksha. When you begin to get free from a bad habit, that's a little bit of moksha coming to you. When you can break free from, say, you want to stop eating something and habit pulls you to it every time. I can't stop. When I see it, I must go for it. When you can say, I will not eat that again. That's a little bit of moksha. And then, of course, there's a perfume called moksha. Now you can get some of that too. Moksha, we should not become as ordinary people. We are not yogis, we are not so. We should not become bewildered that we can't get moksha. It goes in little increments, little bit. You perform your sandhya and whatever discipline you're doing. Gradually you see your mind not getting worried because my child so and so happened, or my husband so and so, my wife so and so, or the neighbor so and so, or the crime situation so and so. Your mind not as, when you perform your discipline and your sadhana, and you notice your mind getting a little more steady. It's not worrying me so much again. That's a little bit of moksha coming to you. It's not vaps you will get moksha. In a one. All these rishis and everything, because they're doing it, they're practicing the discipline for a whole lifetime. Unlike you and I, we're practicing whatever we're practicing for a lifetime too. Look for moksha in little pieces, little things in your life. And the more you recognize that this is a little bit of moksha coming to me here today, the more it will begin to expand. And moksha in your life, freedom, begins to get magnified, bigger and bigger and bigger. We have to close just about in a few minutes, but I want to end on this note. In the Hindu Dharma, and I use the word Hindu loosely here, in Sanatana Dharma, in Vedic Dharma, the ultimate goal of life is not happiness. The ultimate goal of life is not happiness. Otherwise, the rishis would have said, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Anand. They didn't say that. We have Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Happiness is conditional. You could lose it. It has an opposite, happiness, unhappiness. Bliss has no opposite. Anand has no opposite. However, if we give you, if somebody were to say, okay, I'll give you all the happiness you want, but I'll put you in a cage. Take all the happiness you want, but I'll put you in a cage. Will you go for that? Why not? You're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. But you are imprisoned. Happiness is not equivalent to moksha. Moksha goes beyond happiness. Moksha is when you have broken free from all of these binding ties, broken out of the cycle of the sansar, cycle of janma and mrityu, death and birth. And there are no limits again, roaming freely. You know, like when you put your phone on roaming, and you could go anywhere and make calls and so on, and get all the functions and roaming freely. Just so. So what we are striving for, initially we think it's happiness. We want to be happy. And you will notice in your life every day, when you get happiness, that was not what you really wanted. The thing you thought will bring you happiness has just created another thing. You will want another thing and another thing that brings happiness, that you think will bring you happiness. This is why even freedom from all the wantings, either freedom from all the wantings and freedom from all the one things, is what the rishis say is the ultimate purpose of human life. So as we come to the end of this beautiful session that we had today, let us recap that there are four purposes in life: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. Measure ourselves, measure yourself and myself. Let us measure ourselves against these four. These are the yardstick to see whether we are living fulfilled lives, happy lives, successful lives, however you want to term it. But here is your yardstick to see whether you have done justice to being a human being. And whatever changes we want to make in our lives to move towards these four goals, we could do that. Let's just close our eyes and bow our heads for a minute. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Hey Parampita Bhagavan, Almighty God, Supreme Lord and Master of this universe, our hearts are full of thankfulness today that we have had this opportunity given to us to sit in this devotional atmosphere, in this atmosphere of gaining knowledge of ourselves. Parampita Bhagavan, thank all of the people and bless all of those who organized, who helped in some way to make this a success today. Bless, O Lord, the officers and members of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, all of the people who are here this evening. Bless each and every one and their family. Bless the pundits of this organization. Bless the President, O Lord. And let them continue to work diligently, honestly, sincerely, for the benefit of the society and the organization. Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mamudeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mamudeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Namaste, and thank you all very, very much.
On behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha and the executive, we would like to thank firstly Pandit Jiwan, Pandita Jasodra Ragbir Singh, and Pandit Radhe of the Vedic Mission for conducting Hawan this afternoon. As you all know, all of our functions always start with prayer, and we thank them for bringing in that note of vibration and positivity before we begin. Also, we are indeed blessed today to have Pandit Deepak, fondly called Bhai Deepak, from way back when he was associated with the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha and still is. I know he got his early training from the Arya Veda. We want to thank you most sincerely, Pandit, for your very comprehensive and well-delivered discourse on the purpose of life. I noticed there was no written or prepared speech or written verbatim as such. This in itself has distinguished you as a true scholar. We are indeed blessed by your presence, and more so to partake of this nectar of divine knowledge that you have delivered. I know you have received your early training in the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, and more so the Arya Veda, where everyone knew you as Bhai Deepak. From time to time, those who have left or migrated, we are indeed proud of what they have done for themselves, and you are no exception. We are very glad and elated that you have embraced the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha and have aligned your life's work in this direction. We are indeed eternally grateful for your presence. Your chanting of the mantras sent a very warm vibration in this hall, and we were very fortunate to be in the midst of all this. So once again, Pandit, thank you very much for gracing us here this afternoon with your presence. Also, we would like to thank those who prepared the meals for this evening. We would like to thank our sponsors, All New Events, Vish VGM Services, the Pai Stop, and WI Construction. We'd also thank Vishal from Sankhya Television. Very much. I now pass over to Pandit Jasodra, who will lead us in closing prayer.
Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare, Bhakt Jano ke sankat, Bhakt Jano ke sankat, Chana me dura kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Mata Pita tum mere sharan kaho kisake, Swami sharan kaho kisake, tum bina ran duja, tum bina ran duja, आशा करो जिसकी. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ॐ द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगं शान्ति, पृथिवी शान्तिरापा शान्ति, रोषधय शान्ति, वनस्पतय शान्तिर्विश्वेदेव शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शान्ति, सर्वगं शान्ति, शान्तिरेव शान्ति, सामा शान्तिरेधि। May there be peace in the heavenly regions. May there be peace in the atmosphere. May peace reign on earth. May the waters be soothing, and may the medicinal herbs be healing. May the plants be the source of peace to all. May all enlightened persons bring peace to us. May the Vedas spread peace throughout. May all other objects give us peace. And may peace even bring peace. And may that peace come to us forever. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.